Welcome aboard, everybody. It is the Man Shout Show with Boyd Green Digital, and time to talk Syracuse basketball. The Surging Orange. Finish of 3 in a row, maybe. Seen a lot of Carmelo Anthony, by the way, in town, hanging out with his son and his mom. And
that's great.
Kiyan's mom, I should say.
Right.
His ex. And, so we'll get into that. But always fun to talk Syracuse basketball. We're doing it every week with you now that we are in the throes of this season. And we do it with our SU Insider from inside the Loud House. Let's welcome him aboard. It's the one, the only, Neil Adler. How are you, Neil?
I'm great. Happy Friday, guys. And I just have one question. In your intro, was there actually a shot of you guys running with the Bulls? Were you in Spain for that?
Yes, in Poma. Exactly, running with the Bulls. Are we actually in like some kind of like Gotham City-esque Manhattan running with the Bulls? So that's never happened. So it's fictional, but I can sense the realistic natures of it as I'm sure that you're seeing here.
And
there's a story there.
I don't know if you noticed this, Neil, but we're racing and I'm beating him. So if you keep rewatching the film, that is projected to accuracy. I am leading him the entire time. Yes.
So there's a big race. You got the big race.
I love you guys. Thanks for having me on, man.
Always good to talk to you, Neil. Today's broadcast, by the way, brought to you by our friends at Bayberry Automotive. Integrity in everything. Great sponsor for us with 2 locations in Liverpool, up on Route 57 and on now Morgan Road, the brand new posh location. Go check it out. We're going to do a live broadcast from the Morgan Road location sometime in the near future. Once the snow stops. We got about a foot of snow in good old central New York this morning. Paul probably hasn't even looked at it. He probably has 3 feet now. Sweego doesn't even know it. Somebody else shovels it. I was out there in my complete snowsuit and snow blowing. It's 7:30 this morning. Digging my wife out. I was like, good grief. What am I doing out here? Get me out of here.
Let's just get to this. Paul's kids do it. They're old enough. They do it.
100%. So 2 things here. First off, 30 minutes before my jet show this morning, I heard the snowplow. So I'm like, let me go check what the hell is going on out there. And number 2, Lurch has brought this up several times. He sounds very jealous that he has to go full, because it somehow came up in random conversation that part of my my lease agreement here at this apartment is that my landlord has some other guy come and shovel and snowplow and everything. And then Lurch is like, I gotta go out there and do this whole thing. And he's got like the most posh thing I've ever heard of. He's got like a snowplow with a whole like hut around it with like a little coffee. He's got like the whole shish kebab over there, like with caviar dreams. And he's complaining that he has to go in this hut where he gets no wind impact. It's like an entire house built around this thing. He has like the latest technology and equipment. But
oh my gosh,
poor little Paul over here.
He's got like a TV on it. He's like watching games and stuff.
I don't have a ride on. I have a push blower. I actually asked for Christmas this year to get one of those cabs, that protect you. Cause when you throw the snow, it doesn't just all go in one direction. Most of it does, but some of it blows right back in your face. So it's brutal sometimes. And it comes in your eyes. Sometimes you just like can't even see as you're blowing. You're like, what am I doing out here? Right. So I wanted to get one of those cabs, but then we couldn't decide on which one was going to fit right. Cause my blower is probably about 10 years old. So I was like, I don't know. All right, let's not do it. I'll do it myself another time and make sure I get the right one. And I don't want to have this whole rigmarole and then it doesn't even fit. So I didn't get one, but instead what I got this year, Neil, for Christmas were ski goggles.
I saw that.
I put my raincoat on top of my down coat, and then I wear the ski goggles. And now, even though it's splashing back in my face, at least I can see. And I'm just, I can see right ahead, so it doesn't bother me as much. Yeah, that's my
sounds like a wise investment. Yeah,
still work. Yeah. And look, I earned my way up to that snowblower. I want you to know, I shoveled for many years, hurt many backs, and finally got to the point where I was like, all right, I got to find a way.
Hey, look, buddy, you're approaching what, 85, 90 years old at this point. Exactly. You deserve a snowblower. Yeah.
All right. Which, by the way, let me show this to the people real quick. One of our many YouTube shorts. I'm not going to play the video. All I'm going to show you is this, okay? Because I just want to make sure I had this so the people can see it who's watching on our YouTube channel right now. Again, youtube.com/@MCShowDigital. Here it is. Here's the Lurch and his goggles there as he's doing.
That's my outfit.
As he's saying, like, geez, the blustery winter. Let me get in a quick selfie video here with my sweet new snow goggle protection here. And by the way, you can also see it just slightly behind. I hadn't noticed it till Lurch did this YouTube video, but on his like garage now, he has like this whole Santa backdrop. And I'm like, wow, how beautiful. And I saw there was a lot of good compliments for it in the YouTube short comment section there of that backdrop. Instead of just some plain Jane brown whatever.
That's what my garage door is underneath that.
Yeah,
It's just
you're right.
plain
Yeah,
Jane brown garage.
yeah, 100%. But now you've got this beautiful backdrop, which is terrific. So look at that, man-child. You look well equipped. Well equipped.
That's exactly the way I looked this morning. I think I had a different, hat underneath the blue rain jacket that I now put my Giants.
I'm surprised you didn't put up another video. It's take advantage of the snow while it's here. And the
be honest with you, I actually thought about it, and I was just like, not today. I was too tired. It was too early. She was like, so you're taking me out? I was like, I guess I am. I don't have to go anywhere today. I could just wait until 4:00 this afternoon to do this crap, but I guess I better do it now. So I grabbed myself.
Guys, I loved my time at SU. I was there from 96 to 2000. I was to try and get up when I can, but I don't miss the snow. I do not.
Okay. Sure you
don't miss it.
Sure you
Fair enough.
All right, let's talk some Syracuse basketball.
Right. If we have.
Winning streak. I mean, I am impressed, Neil. I know that they're not playing the medal of the league, but who cares? No. A win is a win. And in recent years, as we know, Syracuse has struggled in the league. And by the way, 2 of these wins were on the road at Georgia Tech, at Pittsburgh, as you see it there on the schedule. They'll be back on the road, by the way, tomorrow to take on Boston College. We can get into that game a little bit later in our conversation. Give me your thoughts on the 3-game winning streak, and does Adrian Autry kind of have this team righted at the moment?
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to say is really astute. This is why you guys have me on, because I'm super insightful. A 3-game winning streak is better than a 3-game losing streak. So I'll start with that.
Yes. Analysis. Yes.
Here we go. Okay, I'll get a little deeper now. Number one, since they've been back, since Donnie Freeman's been back, other than the Clemson game, their offense obviously is scoring a ton of points.
Way better.
Little concerned that maybe the defense is taking a little bit of a slide. But I guess if you're scoring more and giving up more, but you're still winning games and the road and by double digits, then cool. I think this team, and we'll obviously have to see, assuming they beat BC on Saturday, we'll see after that when they started to play Virginia Tech and Miami and Virginia, Carolina, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I think they're really starting to find something. I knew it would take a couple games. Well, certainly Donnie hasn't missed a beat since he's come back, but I think it would take a couple games for the team to, hate to use the cliche, gel, but just kind of like settle into the roles with Donnie, back. Obviously, Sadiq White's playing less, and we're seeing other things, but they're playing well. The offense is clicking. They're shooting better from 3. They're shooting better from the free throw line. Tyler Betsy shoots 6 of 8 from 3. They're never going to lose again. Kiyan and Sadiq are, getting a couple buckets here and there. Nathan George, still a little turnover prone, but look, if he has 13 assists and 4 turnovers or whatever it was the last game, I'll take that. I'd like to see a little bit more of Nate Kings. William Kyle III is doing his thing. Look, the team is they're playing well. And so if they beat Boston College, and this is what I would say, I think we've talked about a little bit. They beat Boston College, get through some of these, lower teams in the ACC. They're 13-5 overall. They're 4-1 in the ACC with 3 ACC road wins. And I feel like the confidence is there and things are kind of clicking. And then when we see what they're made of, when they really start to play some better teams, and the ACC is deep this year, and they're going to have quad 1, quad 2 opportunities. They're not a rocket for an NCAA tournament team, but they're going to be in the mix, I feel like. As long as they keep playing the way they're playing, regardless of their Oxford loss, and yes, I know they have 5 losses and all that, and the Tennessee win might not end up being quad 1 if they, kind of slide, but they're playing well. And that's all you want to do right now. And I feel like Autry's kind of figured out rotations, and I like where they sit. I do. Obviously, rebounding is always something to keep in mind, turnovers, but they are so good at getting out of transition and getting transition buckets, fast break points off turnovers, thriving. And I feel like their half-court offense is flowing a little bit better. It's not, you see some of the ISO ball stuff, but I feel like there's just more player movement. Guys are getting nice looks. Guys are getting into the paint. Guys are getting to the free throw line, and they're making more free throws. So I think they're in a good spot right now.
Again, and I just want to keep this up a little bit longer just to look at it, because it just feels good. 3 in a row, 6 of 7, 8 of 10. We can keep doing the math. The math is mathing, baby. I love it. And good vibes. 100%.
These are more than just moral cookies at this point, right?
Yes, thank God. See, Neil, I know that's what we discussed the last time that we intertwined here on the show, moral cookies. So okay, you just mentioned the NCAA tournament thing, so I just have to bring it back up. Come on, Neil. It is we have been starving in the Syracuse streets. We've been on the side of the road with our tin can Please, an NCAA tournament berth. Again, Jim Boeheim had made it the standard. Every year of course you're going to make the tournament, but where's the seed? Sure. How far are we going? All those are the conversations.
It wasn't if, it was where you're going to be seated.
100%. Right? But now, unfortunately, we've gone now down to these poor hobo times where all of a sudden now we're like, that's not the guarantee anymore. It's, are we going to make it? And now I ask you, Neil, with the current temperature of the team, again, there's a lot of basketball to be played. Do you believe this is a tournament team? We haven't seen it in many eons here in the Salt City. Is this a year?
I think this is a team that is playing like a tournament team. Or if you're asking me on Friday, January 16th, do I think they're going to make the NCAA tournament?
Yes.
I think they have a really legit shot.
Okay.
Again, assuming they take care of BC and that they're at 13-5, 4-1, and then we see how when some of these tougher teams come up. But yes, I think it's a team that's playing like an NCAA tournament team. But look, God forbid, injuries come up or whatever, or they just have some bad losses. I feel like they found something with Donnie back. Look, he missed 9 games. I mean, like, I know injuries are part of sports and other teams face this. I mean, what has he scored since he's been back? 18, 27, 22, and 25, something like that. Mm-hmm. And I don't want it to get to the point where this team is so reliant on Donnie that it's like, but these other guys are fitting in, and again, Nate George is playing well, and William Kyle's doing his thing, and Betsy's doing his thing. I think they're a tournament team. I'm not guaranteeing they're going to make the tournament, but I think they have a good shot.
Another guy, Neil, that we knew Syracuse was going to need to lean on both for leadership and for points is JJ Starling.
How did I
two forms? Let's talk about JJ. It's okay.
How did I forget?
Ask me this question about JJ Starling. Come on, baby, let's go.
I was up at 5 this morning getting my son ready for school. I've only had 1 cup of coffee. Forgive me. How did I forget JJ Starling? The Baldwinsville native. He's my math is never a given because I'm just not a math guy, but I'm pretty sure his last 2 games from the field as a whole, he's 14 of 21. I think roughly that. So that's like what, 67%, something like that, some insane number. If JJ Starling, and I think he's up to like 45% from the field, 34% from 3, obviously free throw shooting is still not great, but if JJ Starling is clicking like that with Donnie and with William and all these other guys, this is a very good to potentially very good team. And JJ, yes, he's a leader of the team. He's been on the team for 3 years. I mean, they only had 2 guys come back, and Donnie's obviously a sophomore that played 14 games last year. JJ, I think Donnie is the guy, but JJ is the leader. If that makes sense. And I think he's been serviceable from 3. Obviously, free throw shooting is always kind of an iffy thing, not just with him, but with other guys. But he is like, he's really fast. I guess it was the Florida State game. Just sometimes when he was getting the ball kind of like, and then just like taking it right to the 10, it's just like taking it right in there. He just needs to be aggressive doing that. And I just love seeing like when either him or like Nate George, whether out in transition or even in the half court where they're driving and then they just drop a lob, and either Freeman or especially Kyle or even say they just dunk. This team has some ferocious dunkers. So JJ's been playing great. And I know some people were saying, with Nate George struggling, do you put Donnie at the 1 some and then Kiyan come in and play more? And a lot of people are clamoring for Kiyan to play more, and I get it. He's averaging roughly 10 points. He's having a solid freshman campaign, but he's a freshman, and I know he's Carmelo's son, but I still feel like if Nate George, he's still the point guard of this team. But would I like to see Kiyan a little bit more? Sure. But JJ's been great, and if he plays like that with Donnie and everything else going on, this is a team. I'm not saying they're going to win at Duke or they'll say win at Louisville, although Louisville's been struggling of late. They can beat an NC State. They can beat a Virginia Tech. They can beat them. They can pretty much beat anyone. I think Duke would be tough on the road, but like North Carolina at the Dome, they can win that game. It's a deep league, but I don't know how much separation there is from like teams like Syracuse that are in kind of the middle and not ranked right now versus the upper. I know Duke's in the top 5 or 6, but like Clemson's ranked, Virginia's ranked, North Carolina's ranked. Syracuse can play with them, absolutely.
As I'm looking at the analytics that we're going to be forced to look at if we're talking about, bubbles and all this other stuff, is the NCAA net rankings. And doing a quick gander over here in the middle of our conversation, I see they're at 64 right now.
Oh, really?
Apparently some droppage happening.
Paul, I literally this morning before we came on the air wrote just a quick piece about how fans can watch the Boston College game. And I literally wrote that they were 60 in the net, and this was like an hour ago because I wanted to get it done before I was talking to you guys. Literally an hour ago. So how is that possible?
This is why it's so insane. This whole
right.
I don't want to get off on a sidebar in this.
Yeah,
but
right.
The fact of the matter is,
the metrics. It's like I take them with a grain of salt a little bit.
I always say this about all sports, Neil. You want a system that the people who watch your sport get, like the fans. You want the fans to get what you're doing. Transparency matters. That's why these committees drive people nuts. That's why the selection stuff drives people nuts. Even the college football playoff, more controversy this year. Notre Dame doesn't get in. What the heck is wrong with you idiots?
And Miami does.
Down there. What's going on?
And then to the basketball, to Lurch's point, right? Quad systems, quad 1. It's a top 30, quad 2, the top 50, quad 3, the top 75. However, if you beat a team that was quad 1 barely, but you beat them so they lose, they drop from quad 1 to quad 2 because you beat them. But if you lose to them, they're more quad 1. So but
it's a loss. So what's better to do?
Right. So that's I guess I had a different question, but we can start here on sort of where we are, right? I don't want to say every year it's different because that's not true, but over the course of history, right? BPI, RPI, ZPI, KPI, all these different things. Ken Palm, there's a million things to evaluate, and it is more difficult for the fans than ever, despite the advancements of technology and us having this at our fingertips to check. Oh, Google NCAA net rankings, Control F. Syracuse, where are you? Up, there you are. I guess you're 64, 75, or 80 this. It's more confusing than ever, Neil.
I hate the fact that we even use the word quad in our vocabulary. I could do without it, frankly. Go ahead.
I guess you have to have some metrics. You have to have some formulas. You have to have, what I was thinking, Paul, when you were talking about that? You know how the ACC in football this year was doing the look-ins to the replay booths and stuff?
Yes.
Can they do live look-ins to the selection committee for both the college football playoff and then say, can we get some live look-ins? That probably wouldn't
transparency. Yeah.
I just want, I really do.
That way we can get this Kevin Stefanski reaction to the Shedeur Sanders pick. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
right.
Seriously.
Nice to have you, Shedeur. Nice to have you.
Stefanski's going to get a good job. He's going to get a good job.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think with the analytics stuff, it's kind of like when and Paul, this because we used to do stuff together at Loud House, but it's I rely on some of these recruiting rankings when I do these recruiting stories, whether at high school or it's you do them, but then you also find that gives you little context. He's 4 stars. He's not any stars. He's 5 stars. You use them, but then it's the eye test. Syracuse is playing a tournament team. That's all I'll say.
Talking with Neil Adler, our SU basketball insider from inside the Loud House. It's the Man-Child Show with Boy Green Digital. Don't forget to pop that subscribe button on your screen. Boy Green, if you want to put up the link, it's our YouTube that we want you to subscribe to. I know a lot of you might be watching this in different places, like our Facebook page, our Instagram page, perhaps on X. But there it is right there, youtube.com//@MC Show. Digital is the way you subscribe to our channel. And Neil, we are closing in on 500 subscribers. And when we get there, not only are we giving away a $400 golf club, but we're going to create a very, very cool VIP club that includes some merch, baby. Merch is on the way, as they say. So, Neil, being the good guy that you are, I might even consider just sending you a free piece of merch just so you can display it, on your little, maybe behind you in your little home office, or, maybe when you're doing some certain things. This is a usable thing, so I don't want to give it away. It's a usable item. So yeah, we'll take care of you, I promise, for all your many years of service to our show. Yes.
Perhaps this, Neil, is what you'll be vying for.
Oh, all right, everybody. Our next giveaway is going to be right out of the Man-Child's collection. These bobbleheads from the Anchorman, a collection of 4. Check it out. We've got Veronica Corningstone right here. Very cool. Brick Tamlin, the weather guy, the zany weather guy, played by Steve Carell. Check out Yes, Brian Fantana with the Sex Panther in his hand. Very, very cool. And then lastly, the Sports Nut Champ Kind. This collection of bobbleheads going out the door once we get to 475 subscribers. Subscribe now. It's absolutely free.
So we are less than 10 subscribers away from giving away those bobbleheads. I already have the packing. I was showing Paul. I got all the bubble wrap and everything to pack them up nicely and send them off to whoever wins them. So that's going to be awfully cool. Go ahead, Neil.
Can we get bubbleheads of you two? That I want a bubblehead of
We've
you
never
two.
had that done yet, but that's
I want like Paul's like
lister,
big beard and like
Paul would make
Get
a
in
great
there with
bobblehead. I don't know that I mean, I'm not saying I don't have some odd traits, but the beard and the glasses, the hat, he's really got some great traits.
Neither of you are odd. Neither of you are odd. You're both animated and awesome and eccentric. You're not
good word.
You're not.
We love it all. By the way, today's broadcast brought to you by our friends at Bayberry Automotive. Let's just take 30 seconds to learn a little bit more about our friends from Bayberry.
Integrity is a word that some people just throw around in life. But at Bayberry Automotive, integrity is everything. Integrity of their mechanics, who are all experienced and certified. Integrity in the work they perform, with nothing but 5-star reviews from satisfied customers on Google. Integrity that goes along with family. A family-run business that treats you like one of their own. Integrity in everything. Bayberry Automotive. BayberryAutomotive.com.
Located on Route 57 across from Bayberry Plaza, the premier choice for auto repair in Liverpool.
All right, we are back at MC Show Digital. Don't forget to pop that subscribe button on YouTube as we're talking SU basketball with our SU Hoops insider, Neil Adler from Inside the Loud House. Neil, one really interesting thing that has come with Carmelo Anthony's son playing for Syracuse, Kiyan Anthony, is the presence of Carmelo Anthony. I mean, he has been in Syracuse a lot. I don't know if he's got his own place up here right now or if he's spending a lot of money at some of these swanky hotels we've got. But the other day, actually, Neil, was a cool moment put on camera by a few. He was pregame on the court working with Kiyan on his game. So let's talk about the presence of Carmelo and how kind of cool is that to the, say, average SU basketball fan.
It's so cool. I graduated in 2000, so I missed Melo by 3 years, but obviously that was kind of close to me. And that win that night, I've never screamed so hard in my life, April of 2003. And it's really neat. And look, I know he's an NBA Hall of Famer. He's a superstar, gold medalist. He's got all these other business ventures. But as you both can understand, as well as me, he's also a dad. And so I think look, I know he's busy with his business ventures, and isn't he a studio analyst for NBC this year? Seeing him at these games, it's really, yes, that was on his official visit. And that was one of the coolest things. I loved covering Kiyan for Inside the Loud House when he was going through his recruitment. It was just so much fun. Of course, it would have been really sad if Kiyan ended up choosing USC, but he came to Syracuse, and I think he's just really handled it well. He obviously is following his dad and his legacy, but he's trying to make his own legacy. And no one that's reasonable about things is expecting Kiyan to do 22-10 his freshman year, be national freshman of the year, and win a chip.
I would take that, by the way. I just want that to be known. I would accept that if that happened.
That would be a nice gift. And maybe Syracuse will go on a great run, and he's having a solid freshman year. Yes, he's not shooting well from the deep. Should be expected a freshman, but he's great at getting to the rim, and he just is kind of taking it in stride. And Kiyan, in his own right, is kind of somewhat of a celebrity. He's got like over 1 million Instagram followers. He's got all of these NIL deals. But anyway, to get back to Manchild's original question, it's really cool to see Carmelo up there so much. He's done so much for the program. We all know about the practice facility and everything else. But just being up there as a dad, and obviously Lala's there too. I figured that Carmelo was probably crashing with one of you guys, like when he was up there. Like, yeah, right. He's like taking turns, like crashing at Jim's place and then at Paul's.
Well, Manchild's a former Syracuse alum, so they're pretty tight.
I know.
Him and Melo are pretty tight.
Yeah. Jim's got all kinds of contacts in this film. I've seen it, but no, it's great. And seeing him practicing with Kiyan before the game, and like I don't know this, but I think that Carmelo understands that. Even though Kiyan was a top 30 national prospect in his class, and he's playing some, like I think around 20 minutes a game, like I don't think he expected his son to come in and like be the guy like his freshman year. But he's playing pretty well, and I expect he will be at Syracuse 2 years unless Oh gosh, if he hit the transfer portal, oh my god, no, he's not going to. But and they could have up to 9 or 10 guys come back, so they could have a nice team next year. But having Carmelo there, I'm sure it's fun for the fans. Obviously, attendance hasn't been super great, but they've got some big games coming up, and the team keeps winning. That'll help. But what I'm curious about with Carmelo is, and I read about this in chat forums I'm in or whatever social, like, is he involved with Syracuse from like an NIL perspective, whether it's his own dollars or just trying to get other, like I don't know. I've tried to find out. It's hard to kind of get some of that stuff, but it's good for the program. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Talking with Neil Adler, our SU insider, inside the Loud House, all things Syracuse basketball. I got another interesting little sidebar here for you, Neil, and that is, I mentioned this to Bud Poliquin in our Brunch with Bud a couple of weeks ago. Donovan Darius's daughter is playing for the Syracuse women's team, and actually she had a very big moment just a few days ago. She hit a game-winning shot in triple overtime to beat Cal. It's so weird to be saying Syracuse.
That was last night, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was last night. That's correct.
Yeah.
So Dominique Darius, is there a buzz about this young girl? Another celebrity, dare I say? Of course, people my age will remember who the heck Donovan Darius is. He was a great safety for Syracuse. Loved when he was here, and then had a great career for the Jacksonville Jaguars primarily.
First rounder. Yeah.
So give me your thoughts on Dominique Darius, another child of a great athlete here at Syracuse, playing one of the big sports here.
Yeah, that was pretty. I was with my son, so I didn't see the game live, but I saw some highlights. I mean, what a win! Why isn't Syracuse women's basketball getting any votes in the AP poll? Like, aren't they 15-3 now? I'll be the first to admit I don't follow it quite as closely. I try and but no, she's been good, and the team's been really good. They're hosting early next month, or at least they're supposedly, according to some reports, they're hosting the top ranked prospect of the 2027 class. Her name is Kalina Smith. She's the #1 junior, and she plays on the #1 team in the country. And she supposedly is in Syracuse, I think, on February 8th. But yeah, that's cool about Darius. And is Donna McNabb's daughter on the team, or she was on the team?
Yeah, where was she at? I remember some story about this.
I have to look that up.
Syracuse, but right, because Donovan's bride was a basketball player at Syracuse.
Yes.
He met her here. And so then they later got married. So it was a college romance. It turned good. And then, Donovan's daughter came to Syracuse. I'm not sure where she is right now. She's been a prominent player, which is probably why I don't know what her current status is. Yeah.
Interesting. So the 24-25 roster, she's listed.
Yeah, I'm seeing, Lexi McNabb. I'm seeing her on the 24-25 roster, but I'm not sure.
But I'm not seeing her on ESPN like all their people. But anyway, Dominique is averaging 12 points a game, 3 boards, 3 assists. Not shooting great from 3. The team doesn't shoot great from 3, but 85% from the free throw line. I know Layla Filia is their best player, but she's one of their key players, and they're having a really good season. And I need to do a better job keeping up with it. I mean, I try and put stuff on the social media, but it's I can't write about every single thing. But they're having a nice season. And she's really good. And they've had some exciting games. I mean, that win over Virginia at Virginia last weekend. Virginia hadn't lost in the conference yet. That was a great win. Yeah, they're playing well.
Very nice. I wanted to get back to this again because I brought up the NCAA net rankings, and that apparently set off bombs all over, this entire podcast before I even got to the question. And the question is this, Neil, when you look at the resume for Syracuse, what does it need? Of course, more wins, Paul. Yep, analysis. God bless. Thanks, everybody. See ya. But no, what is that you look at this? Because again, Syracuse fans are desperate to get to the tournament. And they want to know what is the key to getting to the tournament. So what does this resume lack in your mind that it needs throughout the rest of the regular season and conference tournament play?
Sure. I mean, the easiest thing is to say more quad one. Right now they're 1-4 in quad one. They lost to 3 out in Vegas. They beat Tennessee. It's still quad one. They lost to Clemson at home. Clemson is inside the top 30, so they're 1-4. So they definitely need to win more quad ones. And frankly, beyond that, they need to avoid any quad 3 or quad 4 losses. If they are going to bow out to some really good teams, whether it's on the road or at home, whoever it is, they need to keep it close. They need to beat some of these teams that are going to be kind of fighting in the mid-tier with them. And I've said this to you guys, I think before, and I've written about it on Loud House. I feel like, 21-22 wins, obviously more than that is great, but 21-22 wins in the regular season before the ACC tournament with no more bad losses, I think that'll put them right there. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, and it'd be nice if they won more than one NC or ACC tournament game, because they've never done that. They've never won more than one ACC tournament game since they joined in 13-14. That stinks. Like they used to, didn't they used to contend? I mean, Jim, you've been around just like really. I'm not saying they won the Big East every year, the Big East tournament, but they would win games. So yeah, avoid the bad losses, get some quad ones and quad twos, 21 to 22 wins overall, and make a little noise in the ACC tournament. And I think they're going to get in.
All right. Well, we're all hoping for that. Last one, Neil, and I know you're our Mr. Basketball, but I also know you're Mr. DMV. And Paul's been hating me all week asking these questions about the big noise in the Meadowlands, and that is John Harbaugh becoming the head coach of the Giants. I guess it's now official. You are a Ravens guy, so let's get it from the Ravens guy. How you feeling about him being fired, essentially? And then now coming over and coaching the Giants. Is it bittersweet? Do you think he's going to do a good job? Do you love the fact that he's out of there? Where do you stand on John Harbaugh?
I think that in this kind of culture we're in, whether it's the pros or the college sports, it's like, what have you done for me lately? He was there either 18 or 19 years, kind of like Tomlin, 18, 19 years. He won the Super Bowl. He had some good wins in the playoffs. I think the issue was these last 2 years when you had Lamar Jackson winning MVPs, you had Derrick Henry the last 2 to 3 years. This year, they were thought to be maybe the favorite to win the Super Bowl. And just in these last couple of years with that kind of talent, and yes, injury is part of it. They could not get all the way there. Did they get to the AFC Championship game once?
They've several times.
A couple times. Okay. Well, I meant like in recent years. With Lamar,
right. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course, back in the day, sure. I was not surprised the change was made. As I said to Jim off air, I think it would have been nice if he wasn't fired. I think maybe there could have been a mutual parting of ways. I know that's semantics. It just kind of felt icky to me when I got that ESPN alert, and I was like, Ravens have fired John Harbaugh, and I'm like, really, man? I don't know if he wanted to leave or not. I don't know his relationship with Lamar. I asked him what thoughts about Lamar. He's talented as heck. He gets injured. Anyway, it was bittersweet for me, but he had a great run. Of course, I root for all the New York teams because, I went to Syracuse. My family's from New York originally. So I don't think he's going to necessarily bring the Jets to, 6 regular season record next year. I think there's a lot of work to do.
Not the Jets.
Giants. I'm looking at Paul's freaking Jets.
Smiling. He's like, wait a minute, what happened here?
I'm happy for him. I think it could be a good fit, and but I'll be interesting to see who the Ravens get, and like we were talking about off air, Jim, if some Ravens free agent guys move to the Giants, and who's the Giants, coordinators and all that jazz. But go Jets, and frankly, now I'm rooting for Buffalo because Western New York, Central New York, go Bills. In the playoffs, that is. I don't want them to.
Fun weekend for the playoffs.
So I was a little sad about Harbaugh, but I wasn't surprised. It's just so ironic. Him and then the next day Tomlin, and they're like the two most bitter rivals in all of the NFL, pretty much.
Yeah.
So many
like
openings.
Fond memories. You're accepting of him going. You don't love the way they did it, and you wish him well in New York. Is that the?
I wish him well.
Okay, good.
I wish him well.
Nice to hear that.
Go Giants. Go Giants.
We're going to stomp your butts the next time we play you. Okay. Thank you, Neil. Always good to talk to you, and always good to catch up on Syracuse basketball. We'll talk to you again next week.
Thanks, guys. Take care. Appreciate you.